Hi folks, this is your MWIS Fleeting View in association with Petzl. The weather chart for Friday has an area of high pressure centred across England and Wales with a southwesterly wind across Scotland. That will be strongest toward the north and northwest, rather gusty and blustery over higher northern mountains in particular, with a considerable chill factor in exposure. The air temperature will be near to freezing point over higher terrain, just lifting maybe a degree or so above freezing onwards into the afternoon, but most high mountains in Scotland have some snow cover and terrain is going to be frozen. There'll be some frost in the valleys and the glens widely in the morning as well, plus some mist and fog patches which may just take a couple of hours to clear. A largely dry day, maybe just a few spits and spots of drizzly light rain could just come onto sky where we get a southwesterly wind dragging in some banks of cloud. Patchy bits and pieces of cloud may drift onto a few windward slopes elsewhere. Many mountains will be clear and a good amount of sunshine in that forecast. Taking our story onwards into Friday evening and night, and the southwesterly wind will strengthen further across the highlands, gale force across higher mountains, a front approaching from the west too. We'll see high cloud thicken and then some rain developing in the night through into Saturday across west and northwestern regions first. Fairly persistent for a while, some snow across the higher mountains for a while as well as this front comes in and temperatures stay near to freezing point across the Munros at least. That front though will be a weakening feature into Saturday daytime, so although things may dawn rather dull and damp with cloud across the hills, that will be an improving story across the highlands with brighter skies coming through, cloud lifting and breaking. And that front, as it sinks further southwards over central southern Scotland into northern England during the daytime, largely fizzling out as it encounters our area of high pressure, but an area of cloud that may just spoil the look of the day across northern England, with the risk of one or two spits and spots of light drizzly rain for a time. The cloud may just cover some windward slopes, but a good amount of the mountains across England and Wales will remain largely clear. Light winds here as well, a bit breezier toward the north of Scotland with a rather keen wind chill, again with temperatures staying near to freezing across the Munros throughout the day. Continuing that story onwards into Saturday night and Sunday, we see high pressure still in charge over England and Wales, and that southwesterly wind prevailing across Scotland, and that will stay strong into Sunday daytime, strengthening to gale force again across higher mountains, particularly northwestern regions, could even be 50 or 60 miles per hour in places across higher mountains. Quite gusty, turbulent conditions around some higher summits and ridges as well. Lighter winds further south through England and Wales, still a bit gusty around some higher terrain. A frost in the morning for many and some fog patches where sheltered on lower ground. Otherwise, a largely dry and bright day once again for Sunday. Another front just making some progress toward northwest Scotland late in the afternoon, thickening the cloud, and may just see some patchy drizzly rain coming on before dusk toward the northwest, but I think that's mostly into Sunday night again before that front fully arrives. And a bit like previous times, a spell of rain and some upland snow flurries just overnight Sunday into Monday before that front then starts to fade away again. So the general situation into the start of next week is still with high pressure toward the south and still with a westerly breeze across Scotland, rather windy again across more northern regions still, with temperatures remaining close to freezing point across higher mountains, one or two light showers possible in the west and some banks of cloud, but brighter further eastwards and generally dry over England and Wales. Take that onwards into Tuesday and strong southwesterlies will prevail across northern regions of Britain, again lighter winds further south, risk of some rain in west and northwest Scotland associated with some fronts passing nearby here. Low cloud covering those western coastal mountains, again better further eastwards, and much of England and Wales dry with just a few banks of cloud drifting on to some western slopes. Possibly turning a bit wetter later Tuesday as fronts just try and push a bit further southwards. By this time temperatures generally lifting above freezing point towards higher slopes, so a gradual thaw is expected through next week with air temperature over higher summits likely staying above freezing for a few days. High pressure remains toward the south, a good deal of dry and bright weather in the forecast, some areas of low cloud and some patchy fog maybe lower down at times. The wind just turning south to southwesterly, allowing those temperatures to drift up a degree or so further through midweek. Possibly just low pressure cutting in from the west later in the week may bring some cooler, showery conditions, possibly even taking the freezing level back down onto the mountains, with some showers of some snow and hail possibly redeveloping. Much uncertainty of exact detail by the time we get to the end of the week at this stage though, but just a bit cooler compared to midweek. As always, all your details for 3 days ahead can be found on our website. That is your Fleeting View in association with Petzl.